There we go. And so basically, Chris, I'm going to kind of say how we met. We met at one of these present conferences, and then we were talked about different business ideas in terms of your product and how it's developing. And then, the whole focus of this one actually is it's more with entrepreneurs. So most of the people that are listening to this are interested in making their practices better, being more efficient, of course, increasing revenue, all kind of ethically and doing what's best for the patient. That's what we'll focus on. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Great. Hello and welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. My name is Don Pelto, and today I have the privilege of having Chris Derr here on the call. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And we met, I think it's been 6 months or maybe even going on a year at one of these podiatry or present conferences, and you kind of had this neat product, and it was in the beginning stages, and you were wanting to get some feedback, and we've had some contact, and I think I'm a bright, shiny object type of a guy. And when I met you, I was like, wow, this is kind of a new thing. And we went back and forth. So Chris, tell me a little bit about kind of the history of your foot washer and a little bit of how it's going.
Awesome. First of all, I'd like to say, that was the first time that I was revealing that product. And so I was kind of on the inside, kind of cowering at the idea of people not liking it or not thinking it's a good idea. And you were one of the people that came over and said, hey, what is this? That looks interesting. So I have to say, thank you very much, because that really propelled me to have the confidence to take those next steps that were needed. And I was able to do that with a lot of confidence, which is very needed when being an entrepreneur, right? You have to make that leap and make that commitment. And it's a very emotional process when inventing something and trying to come up with something, because it hasn't been done yet. And so it's all new territory. And so I just want to say thank you for being one of those people that came over and was very supportive of that. So
yeah, I find, Chris, in any industry, even when students are considering professions, I say, there's some that are going to be up on everything and others are going to be down. And you kind of want to be around more of the people that are up, because like you said, it's all about confidence. Doing what you do, bring something new to the arena. It takes confidence. And in the first rendition, you're probably going to fall on your face, but then you keep getting up and you do it over, and you fix things and you learn how to do things. And that's how it is.
You couldn't have nailed it more on the head. It's really not about getting things right. It's about working through the thousands of things that aren't right. So I've learned how to fail, on so many different levels, and work past those thoughts that get in your head of keeping you back, or not feeling like you're doing a good job. And it's really it takes a lot to constantly fail and pick yourself up and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So it's been definitely a character building journey so far, and it's continuing.
Well, talk us through the kind of the progress of where you've come from, what the version 1 is, what version you're at now, how it's been going, and what you're thinking for the future.
Yeah, well, I'm in year 11 with this project. It started a long time ago, and as it's developed, I've become more and more dedicated to it. And in October of 2019, I resigned from my 9-to-5 job to be 100% immersed into making this product come to life. And so I gave myself a certain amount of budget that I could lose and not be out on the streets, and a certain amount of time. And it was a year. And at the 13th month, it was the month after I met you and was at that convention, I got funding for this project to really propel it forward. So where I sit right now is we just finished the final prototype. What you saw was pretty much what it is now. There was just small tweaks that needed to be done when preparing the drawings for molding. So I just got the new prototype back, and the brushes are off to get the moldings done, and we'll be sending in the drawings for the actual casing of the product. And I don't think I've explained the product, but it's a foot cleaning system that allows you to soap and wash your feet without bending over. And obviously, the highest target market are people that have a little bit of a physical challenge to reach their feet. but it's quite a universal issue with people properly washing their feet. So I think it's going to hit a whole ton of different people. And I'm just trying to put together the right team and the right product to make it happen.
Yeah. So, when we originally talked, you were saying in like patients washing their feet. And I was thinking, gosh, some people have personal care attendants that can do that for them, or family members, but a large portion that we see in the office, and you just feel bad for these people. And it can cause foot wounds due to the dryness. And we talked about hydrating it and things like that. So tell us a little bit about kind of the system, how it works. And it's pretty simple, but then you kind of had some interesting kind of ways that you were thinking about marketing it if you wanted to talk. Now, nothing here is set in stone until you send out the advertising or things, but just
Yeah.
kind of what's in your mind. How are you thinking that this is going to kind of flow through society?
Sure. Well, my first strategy was to contact experts like yourself and have have your approval of it and your uh, your blessing, if you will, of this actually helping people out. But there's a couple of key innovations that makes this really special that there's nothing like it out on the market yet. One of them is the handle. There's a handle at
I
the
can see
top.
it behind you. Yeah.
You can kind of see it. I tried to have that to where people can see it, but at the top, there's a handle that you hold onto, which immediately stabilizes the person in the shower, which has never been done before. And then in the handle, there's a lever that you pull, and it dispenses soap onto the bristles. And there's a two-in-one bristle uh, application down there, and it's kind of the magic of the product because you don't even have to look, right? You pull the lever and the soap comes out. And then another key innovation is the soap. It's a whipped soap, so it kind of has the consistency of shaving cream, which
But won't
works.
make you slip. Won't make you slip if you're on it, right?
Exactly. I don't know if you've ever dropped, gel body wash in the shower. It's like ice. It's slicker than ice.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then the soap also functions as kind of a lubricant as your skin rubs over these bristles. It gets down in your cuticles and your cracks and the crevices. It gets that dead skin out of there that causes the bacteria and the odor, and then like you were talking about the skin issues after a long period of time from not getting that stuff out of there. And the people that do wash their feet, they usually use a washcloth or a scrunchie type thing, and those are not tools designed to get into the complexity of the foot in between the
Mhm.
toes, the nails. And so even when people are trying to wash their feet, they're actually not doing it well. I use the analogy of you wouldn't use a washcloth to wash your teeth, right? You could do that for 30 years and it's not going to wash it. And you've been doing it for 30 years, and all of a sudden someone hands you a toothbrush and some toothpaste and says, "Here you go." You're like, "Oh my gosh, why didn't I have this 30 years ago before all my teeth fell out?" So I'm kind of hoping that brushing the feet will be as common as brushing the teeth.
Wow. I love those word pictures that you used. I think that's a key to helping patients to understand it. And how are you thinking, Chris? Like, would there be a collaboration with like Walgreens and CVS? Or are you looking at private doctors' offices? What's the way you're thinking about getting it out there? Or people that are interested? First, it's called VertaClean for those that are listening. VertaClean. If they want to learn more, but how are you thinking about getting it out into the I don't know, community?
The community, yeah. Like I was mentioning earlier, I think one of the best ways is through the experts. I've
Mhm.
developed this program, partner program, where a doctor like yourself would have this two-sided pamphlet. And when a patient comes into your office and you notice, hey, they're clearly not able to wash their feet, they're not washing their feet, it would be easily mentioned, hey, take a look at this. I think you would benefit from this. It helps you soap and wash your feet in the shower. And if you look at the bottom, it has a code on there. It'll give you 10% off of this product. And then what that does, it associates that patient with your office, and then 10% of the sale goes to that office or that doctor. So it's a really easy deal. The doctor is able to give their patient some discount on it, and it in turn helps out the doctor, for having the pamphlet in there and mentioning it. and then they get residual sales off the soap every month that they buy moving forward. So it works out really great for everyone. I think it's a program that not only uh, podiatrists will do, but assisted living homes, occupy or occupational therapy places. So it's a program that will work on in many different arenas. And so I've been contacting doctors, and I'm starting to contact assisted livings, and that's going to be my first, kind of getting it out there. And then
We have a big assisted living. If you, we can contact afterwards. There's a big one out here if you wanted to try to get in there to try it. But usually these assisted living, we're talking business, they tend to have some substantial, means to be at these private assisted living places, meaning they're not going on the bottom here. They tend to have pretty affluent, right? And so that would be a good place to kind of start with that. And
yeah, I feel really lucky in the fact that there's nothing else like this out there. I'm not trying to get them to take something that they already have and replace it
yeah,
with something that's exactly like it. This is going to reduce their falls that they have, that these elderly people fall in the shower all the time. And so it's going to be able to help reduce that. And so I think that they'll look to it as a wellness thing, and it'll be very easy. They don't have to buy them. They don't have to inventory them. They can just
yeah,
have that pamphlet out there and suggest it, and they'll
that's
benefit
awesome.
from too.
And what in terms of price points, have you we talked a little bit, two things I want to talk, antitrust or Stark laws in terms of kickback, and then pricing on it. So let's first talk about it. We always get concerned, is there any, do we have to just let them know we're getting a little cut on that, or how does that work so we don't get in trouble as docs?
Yeah. No, the only time that comes into play is if it's medical, if it's prescribed stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so this is kind of in the field of durable medical equipment. So there's no risk in receiving a commission for
Thank you.
doing that. Yeah. So that's really cool. And what I also like about it is it's kind of a no-brainer, right? It's not implants and it's not tools that you're having to learn. It's a very simple idea that solves a very universal problem.
Yeah,
And
in terms of, do you have in terms of marketing, like how do you get them started? A lot of people, they give them the first one for 1995 with a couple of supplies to get them going on it, and then you get them on the soaps, or like what's your way of marketing? You probably thought about different renditions. What are you kind of thinking, which might change, but what are you thinking right now?
yeah, when coming up with how much things are going to cost to
Mhm.
make and what it's going to cost to market and get it out there and all those associated costs, it's kind of difficult to come up with a number,
It is.
honestly. But my feeling is I don't want to be greedy with my cost. I want these people that are on fixed incomes to be able to afford it. I want people who need it the most to be able to get it. And so I kind of did a little research on what people think that it should be, sort of to speak. And people have said $200,
Mhm.
$250. I even heard 300. But based on the cost and everything that we're doing, my projection is that I think that we can do just fine at $150.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I think it'll be great all around. And if it's a great product and it's helping people, I will be taken care of just fine, and I don't have to worry about it. And that's really what I want.
Yeah, and it won't rust. I guess I think $150. How many years are you thinking it's going to last in their shower?
Yeah, the shower's kind of it's an invasive area. I've had one in my shower for at least a year, and it's doing great. All the components of this product are made to be wet, get wet, and stay wet.
Yeah.
It's all stainless steel, even from the staples that go into the bristles that hold those bristles in the deal. So that's stainless steel. The rod's aluminum, and then the rest is plastic, and it's holding up.
And then in thinking about the marketing end of things, so do they get like a shipment every 3 months, like Amazon, with the bristles once a year, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's one of the exciting parts of this product. It was definitely exciting to the venture capitalist that is involved with this with me, is the residual income of the soap. I feel like people will want to replace the bristles every 4 months, just like you do your toothbrush, right? They get kind of bent, they get kind of gunked up and whatnot. So what I'm coming up with is a bundle package where they get 4 soaps and new bristles every 4 months, and they'll be able to pause that, or if they have multiple showers in their house that they want to have multiple units, they can up it. But
Awesome.
it's going to be very, very customer service oriented. I want to put a lot of emphasis on that, just because, a lot of my clientele is going to be older,
Yeah.
and I want to walk them through this, and be there for them. And I think that experience will cause people to really gravitate towards this product.
Wow, Chris. Well, wow, we covered a lot today, and it's something that I've never heard of. That's why I was kind of excited. And what I'm pleased with is how it's kind of developed over time, and you've done a lot of thinking about it. I'll, those that are interested, what's the website to learn about the VertaClean?
Yeah, it's right now it's vertaclean.com. So VertaClean, VertaClean. And we'll be doing a major launch here in November. And right now, the website is a template website. It's good. It's professional. But the one that we'll have that has the e-commerce and all that, we'll be investing into a little bit more of a platform for that when we get closer. But right now, it's good. There's a demo on there. You can see how it works. You can kind of hear the things that I mentioned before and get it up close. The coolest thing about it is when you see it work in person. When you pull that trigger and that soap comes up, it's kind of like magic. So,
Yeah.
but people will be able to get a good idea of it. And if they're interested in getting one, they can put their information on there. It's just their name and their email. And as soon as we get ready to launch, they'll be one of the first people that can get this.
That's awesome, Chris.
Yeah.
Wow, we covered a lot here. Anything else you want people to know about that you wanted to cover in our conversation today?
No, I mean, there's a lot to go into it, and this is, my world, and I could speak for hours on it. But I want to encourage people that might have an entrepreneurial spirit, that it's not easy, but continue to reach out to people like yourself, and their support people around them, and go for it. It takes a lot of character and a lot of courage to make that leap. And so I just encourage people to do it and work through the problems, and good things will happen.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, Doctor.